Yard haunt update.
Yard haunt update. So tonight, hopefully I have audio. Last night I did a whole video and had no audio. But let's get into a quick sewer update. So, oh man, I did it again. Just slipped in this mud. Just stepped in it. But they got out from over there at the church. I know yesterday they were right up here, and I didn't get to explain that. So they got all the way up here. Man, that mud is very sticky and it stinks really bad. But they got all the way up here. They got the road and everything. They got this all filled back in. I wouldn't say nice, but they have it all filled in, and you can drive on it and stuff. They put a plate there so you can turn around and drive. And then they swept this all up today. They've been pumping water everywhere. They said this is probably one of the worst. And I said, oh, that's great news. They are trying like hell not to mess up my sidewalk. As you can see, they're doing a pretty good job. Other than, I think it was last night or the night before, I said, I don't really care if they mess up my sidewalk, this right here. I just hope they don't mess up my walk, which is this. And we were looking today, and we were looking here, and we're like, oh, I see this separated, and this is like teeter-tottering. I mean, it's not bad, but you can feel it moving. So like if you took that thing, they were sitting here earlier and they like slammed it down, you could feel how hollow it was here. So this piece here might might fall, because you can see it's up a little bit. But I happened to look and I went, oh shit, like there was no gap. Now it's like you can almost stick two fingers in that hole. So I made sure to show them today. I was here early enough, and they were like, oh yeah, we're gonna have to address that. Like, we'll get that fixed for you. I'm like, yeah, you better. And on earth was that? This one also cracked a little more. It's not too bad, but it cracked. Well, went down. But I told the guy, I was like, well, you're not just going to replace 2 out of 3. I was like, you're going to dig it up and you're going to do all of them. You're not going to be able to match that color of the concrete. I said, I want it to match. Like, I don't want you to do like some shit they did over there where they just put some random concrete in. Now it doesn't match. I said, I want my sidewalks to match. Like, I paid for these to be put in. And like, I paid really good money for these sidewalks, not just this. I did this sidewalk, the sidewalk in the back, and then our side over here, the walkway over on the side of the house. We put all these in. I said, that way all the concrete matches. It was all done at the same time with the same load of concrete. I was like, so, they're obviously going to have to replace these if they can't get it fixed. And they're trying like hell not to mess it up too much, but as you see, you can't really see it. I see it. This is kind of like dished in right here, but this tells me a lot here. Like, if this went down and this went with it, that means this whole front yard did this. Like, it all went this way. The whole front. I mean, you can feel it standing here. You can feel the shift in the yard. And what also is making me say that is this right here. You can see it. Like, the sidewalk is higher than the asphalt, and it really dips right there. Like, you see the big dip? I mean, the whole front yard shifted. Like, look, my sidewalk goes like this. In videos, you can't see it. you know, you really can't see it in the video, but the whole sidewalk shifts downward, like it's all slanted. So, I mean, but it is, I mean, they are digging here. I didn't do any daytime today, but he said there is so much water in there. And they just have this like fenced off, just like this, and it's just a huge hole. And that's 15 feet down. But you're not making it 15 feet before you hit water. He said there's so much water in here that it's literally like an underground river. And he's like, that's all under your road and all under this. And I said, well, you know, I said, our basement gets wet. And he goes, yeah, hell, I can imagine. He goes, for as much water's in there and underneath your road, he's like, I can only imagine that your basement gets wet. He goes, but man, once you get down in there, he's like, it's like black, like silt kind of stuff. And I'm like, yeah. He goes, that's probably what's getting into your basement. I said, yeah. Yep, sure is. I said, because that's what comes in the basement. He goes, yeah. He goes, well, the good news is, he goes, if your house doesn't fall in here, he goes, the good news is, he's like, once we get all this installed, he goes, we're installing this. Maybe I can show you. These things are just big, huge rocks. I mean, it's just massive rocks in here. And he goes, so basically what we're going to do is we're putting like a 20-foot wide French drain right here. Is essentially what this is going to be, with a pipe running through it. So he goes, you'll have your main sewer lines. He goes, you're also going to have your wastewater, so like runoff water, which will now have this, so it won't run into he's like, it will no longer run into your house and all that stuff. He goes, it'll run into the storm drains, so you're gonna have storm drains now. He's like, so it'll run into that, and what they're installing in my yard is a pump station. So basically it's gonna hit that and it's gonna jet it out that way to the main forget the main building that they built down there, the main station, which is actually like back there. It's almost like straight across, but on the other side of the tracks behind the woods. So he's like, but basically we're installing a huge French drain right here, because we're filling this in with dirt and a shitload of rocks, and then a pipe in the center, and then more dirt and more rocks. He's like, so basically it's a huge French drain, and you shouldn't get as much water to your house now. And I was like, well, that's good news. So other than that, he was extremely upset they didn't get as far as they wanted to today. He goes, I honestly thought I was gonna have all this torn up and I was gonna have all that torn up, and we were gonna be down into their yard. He goes, down where they have them pipes sitting in the front yard. He goes, I thought we were gonna be down there today. He's like, to be totally honest, he goes, that's where I thought we were gonna end up today. He's like, but he goes, we hit so much water here, and that's why they have these boards. They have all these boards up. Well, it's not boards, but it's steel plates, like drove deep into the ground. And he's like, we had to put those there to block the water and all that stuff from getting down in there. So I mean, they're like right up here, and this bucket closes this off. But that, I mean, look how far down that is. You can't really see, but it's way down there. Way down there. Way down in there. But yeah, so they had to do the metal plates to keep the water back and from rushing around and stuff. He's like, yeah, it's a mess. Because I was really hoping to be done. He's like, we really didn't get too far in yours today, because this one kind of kicked our ass. He's like, so hopefully Monday we can keep going. But then we're supposed to get storms Sunday night. Like, I was talking about that last night, but I didn't have audio. We're supposed to get like 30 to 40 mile an hour winds, which is terrible. So I gotta watch that. Pretty much this guy's gonna get wiped out with 20 mile an hour wind, and 30 to 40 mile an hour winds is a lot of stuff's gonna get tore up. So I'm gonna have to keep an eye on that. Tomorrow might come out here, stake some stuff down, a little better. But the dude was super apologetic about blocking my Halloween displays. Like, man, I was really hoping to be done with yours today and have everything put in and, you know, just keep on trucking. I was hoping not to block your stuff. He goes, because you got one cool display and I don't want people to like not be able to see it, especially now that it's Halloween and now we're blocking it. So all weekend they're going to be blocking it because they don't work on Fridays. They only work 4/10s Monday through Thursday. So that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. But anyway, they were talking today about doing trick-or-treat. He's like, the guy doing all this, like the main supervisor or whatever, he was like, why aren't you guys doing trick-or-treat? Because I was talking to the guy that does, he's on the fire department. He was over here mowing, and he come over and started talking to us and stuff about all this. And the guy doing this stuff was like, why aren't you guys doing trick-or-treat? And he goes, the guy from the fire department was like, oh, we're gonna do, you know, a trunk or treat, but we're gonna do it down there just because, you know, this is a hazard. He's like, you can't have people walking around when there's no sidewalks and there's dips and valleys and the road's falling off and this and that. And he goes, the road's falling in down there and sidewalks are all crappy. And he was like, yeah. He's like, well, he's like, when's your trick-or-treat? We're like, the 26th. And he goes, well, how about that Thursday, me, you, and I forget his name, Dan or something, I guess his higher boss, this guy's higher boss, is like, how about we just walk around and we walk the street, drive up and down the street, and we point out every area that needs fixed, flattened out, or leveled. He goes, that way, if you are walking on dirt, at least it's level with the sidewalk. He goes, we can at least do that. We can fill in every little rut, every little, you know, anything that would make this dangerous to walk around. So they're going to do the whole street. And he goes, why don't you close off the street? That way no one can get in or out during trick-or-treat. And he was like, yeah, we could probably do that. He's like, except a bunch of people park here at the, you know, at the church. So we still need people to be able to get in and out. He goes, yeah, I see what you're saying. But he's like, as long as we have like this, he goes, they were talking about like getting to a stopping point and then just like not digging that day or something and do something different or something. That way they didn't have a big hole like this. Because, you know, if a little kid or a stroller goes bloop into that, big, huge lawsuit. That's what we were explaining to the guy. Can't have that. And he was like, well, let's just make sure we aren't like that. He goes, we'll fill everything in that we need to do, block everything off that we need to. Is, and we'll drive up and down the road and skid steer with a skid steer and a bucket, and we'll fill in all the holes and everything. He's like, that way you guys can still have trick-or-treat. And he goes, and we'll be out of this guy's way because obviously he's the main focus of all this. So they were pretty bummed that they're blocking me here. But yeah, so I figured that was bad news and good news all mixed together there. You know, this is a nightmare, but what are you gonna do? You know, the sidewalk's falling in, which we figured it was going to. I wasn't expecting this though. But yeah, guys, that's nothing new as far as an actual update. I just wanted to give you guys an update with the whole sewer situation now that they're literally digging in my front yard. And my sidewalks are collapsing and everything else. But for the time being, with this big storm coming, he did say if this piece of sidewalk falls in because of the rain, he's like, just take this and that, and he goes, and just drape that to block off. He's like, just close off your sidewalk if that falls in. I go, okay, yeah, let me keep an eye on that. But yeah, guys, that's gonna do it. I'm gonna try not to step in that mud hole again. I've done it twice already. That's gonna do it for today. Sorry it wasn't much of an update, but I figured I'd fill you in on the sewer situation. But catch you guys tomorrow. Happy haunting.